This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
I will be interviewing Bo Nix during the game on Altitude TV. What do you want me to ask?
Bo Nix. What to ask Bo Nix heading into this offseason? Ask him if they can change the name of Joker because he's watching Joker play.
Okay, that's a ridiculous question.
Why?
Just a waste of my time.
Why?
Because I'm a serious journalist. Moj?
You called him Mr. Sting once.
That's true. And I called him a pass guy instead of a quarterback.
Vic, that's a great question. You kind of put me on the spot. Well, I mean, you're obviously going to ask about the moves the Broncos have made.
Evan Ingram.
What it does to what it does to have that guy as part of your team now, and here you are. You know, you're 1 year in Denver, so to speak. I mean, almost 1 year when we get to draft time, but virtually a year in Denver.
Mm-hmm. I got a question for you.
I mean, generic crap.
I got a question for you.
See, you just turned it into generic crap. I don't want it to be generic
crap.
I got one question that when you're done with yours, there's only one question to ask a guy like that. But you go ahead.
I am actually genuinely curious what he thinks about this because he's somebody who's really good at using his legs. What does he think the proper number of rushing attempts in a game for him is? How many times he takes off and runs?
Sure.
That's a football question. What you want is to have a happy-go-lucky, fun-time interview at a Nuggets game.
Brett doesn't understand how this works.
Well, I just asked, could you change the name of the Joker thing, and then you said I'm a serious journalist, so then I went serious journalist, and then
Brett,
you said
it's
too much.
Serious. Brett, you're breaking down. We're not at the combine, Brett. We're watching a Lakers-Nuggets game, and he's talking about three-step drops.
Let me defend Brett here for a second, Vic. It doesn't even – you're throwing out – we could say, hey, ask this question. It's the best question to ever ask Bo Nix in his life. And you'd still throw it in the garbage because you're going to do your own thing anyway.
Multiple people on text and Twitch have said that you got to ask Bo Nix what that thing do.
Okay, yeah, that's a consideration.
And then another good one from the 303-995, ask him who's a better passer, him or Nikola Jokic?
That's exactly what I had in the top of my mind. There are two questions I'm definitely going to ask. I'm going to ask about Joker's arm. Who throws the better long ball, Bo Nix or Nikola Jokic? And can he learn a thing or two? See, that's journalism, Brett.
The Altitude Daily, the morning sprint.
Raj, you ever heard of a 1990s film called Gattaca?
No.
Really, it's a genetic, kind of a scientific genetic altering film.
Who is in Gattaca?
Ethan Hawke.
I like Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's still going strong.
So there's two brothers.
82% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's solid.
Very, very, very good film. There's two brothers. And the brothers have a game where they swim as far out into the sea as humanly possible until one of which is going to tap out. Well, the one that has all the giftedness and the high level of DNA and genetics, everything, that one always loses. It's the other brother that doesn't. So you're going to hear this little clip here.
I was going to say, where are we going here?
This is about where the Nuggets need to be. They need to think about it as a back-to-back, as a swim out to sea. And they need to approach the first and second game with this mentality. Hit that game.
Vincent! How are you doing this, Vincent? How have you done any of this? We have to go back. It's too late for that. We're close to the other side. What other side? You want to join us both? You want to know how I did it? This is how I did it, Anton. I never saved anything for the swim back.
Life lesson right there, Alex Ryanemi. You're swimming out. Pacific Ocean, I don't care. Like the Chatfield Reservoir, you're swimming and you don't freaking care what's on the other end. You swim as far as you can. And if this team shows that type of mentality for the remainder of this regular season, and they show that during the postseason, this is an NBA championship team. The Denver freaking Nuggets. Say nothing for the swim back.
Can I ask a question?
No, I felt like I was Tony Robbins for a second.
How does Gattaca end? Do both brothers make it?
I have no idea.
Oh, so you haven't seen the movie?
The best part about it is this is a clip that I've used my entire coaching career. I have no idea about the actual movie itself.
Oh, my God.
The Altitude Daily. Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
Question that we got there on Twitter. Should Avs fans boo Mikko Rantanen? Well, would you boo Mikko Rantanen? I mean, that's what it kind of boils down to. What would you do?
I don't boo.
I would not. He's it's easy to call him a villain, and I wouldn't argue it. I wouldn't. I mean, that's fair. That's totally fine. But man, you got a lot of love there. Come on. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to replace the amount of love you had for that dude.
All right.
Well, I love the three comments after, right, from the poll, right? Just really long moose chants, right? I mean, they go right there. They can disguise it.
It could get a little confusing.
And the second guy, Derek, writes, as possibly got better overall, his loss, our gain. I mean, don't you got to look at it like that?
You know, I never even thought about that. You're right. The moose chants over the years sound a lot like boos. That's actually a great point. It might be a little hard to discern. Oh, my God. I never even thought of that. So
Some people call him the Moose.
Well, I mean, you know who gets cheers like that, too, is Val Nichushkin because of the choo-choo train. So it's like choo-choo like that. It kind of sounds like boos.
I was at a game when I was playing the Miami Heat. We were bad, won 15 games. And I had a horrible first half. I remember taking a 3 late, boom, 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 got booed. Came back second half. I played great. In fact, hit a corner 3 that ended up putting us in the lead, and we ended up winning the game. Porter came in, hey, great game, man. Did it bother you when the fans booed you? I said, they did? He goes, yeah, didn't you? I said, I just thought they thought my name was Bruce. So
did you really say that?
Yeah.
Did you really say that, or did you think of that later?
No, I said that.
You really said that?
I said that. I just thought they thought my name was Bruce.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, some moose you can do right there. And then the last guy, homie, helped bring a cup. I mean, there's always that, right?
I guess I'm pretty jaded from the player perspective of the business. You know, it's just we're freaking mercenaries, man. We bounce around, whether it's them cutting us, whether it's them trading us, or whether it's us trying to get the most money we possibly can get. And when you've been on the inside of that business, it is hard to have hate for dudes that just tried to better themselves.
All right, let me help you here with why to boom Mikko Rantanen. You did win a cup with them. Should be some sense of loyalty to that core group. Not for him. He wanted to get the most money he could. Why could you boo him? Because he forced his way out of here. He left the Avalanche with no choice because he wouldn't consider a very, very fair and generous contract offer from Chris McFarland.
The Altitude Daily. Kretman and Lindahl.
By the way, Schefter is tweeting out 3-year deal for Cooper Kupp worth $45 million. I don't know what's guaranteed or whatever, but
yeah, $15 million a year.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You began the segment with should they have been kicking the tires on Kupp? Not for that price. No way.
No, well, honestly, I don't even know if they could flat out afford it.
No, yeah, you're right. Not from what Leggy just told us.
Yeah. So, Cooper Kupp, Seattle Seahawks, Broncos. I think there's going to be good receivers available to you around number 20 if that's the player you love the most. There's receivers. There's interior defensive linemen. I don't think you're necessarily out on a tight end. I don't think you're necessarily out on running back. If you love Amari and Hampton, I can't imagine a world where Genty is available to you right there. So the Cooper Kupp thing doesn't happen for the Broncos. His name had been attached to it, but again, at that cost, it wasn't going to happen. The Broncos go tight end, they go linebacker, and they go safety as their major additions that they've made. They've already built up a good foundation on this team, continue to do so in the draft. Here's a question. And our buddy Frank Schwab, who we're going to get on the show, gave the Broncos a B as his offseason grade on what the Broncos have done in free agency. And to me, you give the B because of the injury concerns of the players that you got, but also if you look at those players and what they have been at their peaks, if they're healthy, that clearly moves up to an A grade for the Broncos, but that's kind of everybody in free agency. We get some of that. But ultimately, like the offseason that they've had so far, Andy, I would describe it as good. I don't know if I'd go great. I don't know if they were capable of doing great, but I would say they've had a good offseason so far. Go and have a good NFL draft and come back next year and be a good NFL team.
Okay, for the fairness of the conversation, did we think they did much last year? Not really, right?
Right.
But they were savvy, and we found out they were savvy.
Well,
so,
I mean, they booted Russ's ass out the door, which was pretty big. But, yeah, like in terms of what they were spending on new free agents, there wasn't a ton they could do.
But they did get good contributions from those, right?
Yeah,
So they were smart about it. So I prefaced my comments by letting you know sometimes not doing much is the best thing to do. Remember, the Broncos' big addition, one of their big additions before the 2015 season was Darian Stewart. I don't think anybody thought much about that signing at all. It was like for $6 million.
Turned out
Guys
to be a
ended
star.
up being your starting safety and was fantastic.
Wasn't Brandon Jones kind of that guy last year?
Brandon Jones was exactly that guy last year, is what I would say. But here's what I like, because you talked about could they even have a great A+ offseason? I don't know if the free agent class would have allowed it, frankly, because so many of the top names got signed back to their team before the tampering period even opened, which really lessened the player pool. I like the guys they chose to take some risks on.
You've been listening to the Altitude Daily. Catch us live weekdays on 92.5 FM, the Altitude Sports Radio app, twitch.tv/AltitudeSR, youtube.com/Altitude Sports Radio, and your favorite smart speaker. Say Altitude Sports Radio.